If it's Thursday night, say yeah. For it's Strictly Sports College Football Thursday. Hello, friends. Anthony Floyer here with you for another edition of Strictly Sports College Football Thursday, Week 3. Apologies for last week. We all had commitments beyond our control, so it was too late to do a show. So that's why we couldn't do the show last week. But we're back for this week. Little MF Michael Fletcher. I'm not sure about Michael Bullock. We'll see if he comes in or not. If he does, we'll simply catch him up on what he missed. So, um, one quick bit of news before we get started. 3 games, 3 of our games this week were canceled due to Hurricane Florence, which has been wreaking havoc, or is about to wreak havoc on our nation. And 3 games got impacted. The number 18 UCF Knights were scheduled to square off against the North Carolina Tar Heels, and unfortunately that one got affected, so that game will not be played. The number 13 Virginia Tech Hokies at home at Lane Stadium, Worsham Field. They were scheduled to go up against East Carolina. That game has been postponed. And the number 14 West Virginia Mountaineers, they were scheduled to go up against the NC State Wolfpack. Canceled. So our slate goes from 21 games down to 18, which is good for us because it makes it a little bit easier. So nothing more to say here. Let's just get into the action. We're gonna start it off with the number 2 Clemson Tigers. They're at home against the Eagles of Georgia Southern, and just trying to get my notes on this here. Let's see. Okay. Clemson. Okay, there we go. Clemson. All right. I'm still trying to get my stuff up here, so I'm gonna have to do things a little out of sync here. So, yeah, number 2 Clemson hosting Georgia Southern. I'll get into the schematics in just a moment. I just want to get into my quick thought, and then I'm going to give it to MF while I, get my stuff up and running here. My system's running a little on the slow side, so I do apologize for that. It's going to be quick though, because several cracks appeared in Clemson's secondary during the nerve-wracking win at Texas A&M, but the run defense remained sound. The Tigers ceded just 2.2 yards a carry and 71 overall. They'll shut down Georgia Southern's run-first attack. So nothing more to say on this. I got Clemson, easy win, 42-14. MF, just take it so I can get my stuff up and running here.
Yeah, no problem, Anthony. Now I'm with you on this one. Clemson should have an easy time with them. They are a 33-point favorite going into the game. On top of that, there's really nothing more to say. They did start out at a 34.5-point favorite. Now at before game time, they're at 32.5. So 32, 33-point favorite, where the over-under is about 48 points. That's about right, too, because Clemson's been pretty good, pretty impressive up to this point. I mean, they are the number 2 team in the nation, and they've looked pretty good. Like you said, first game against Furman, 48-7. Yeah, they had a major scare last week, only escaping 28-26. That could have gone all kinds of wrong, but they hung on. They got the win. They're 2-0. And that's all that matters. So nothing more to say. Anthony, if you got your schematics now, or at least as commentary crews and whatnot, then it's all yours.
Yeah, not quite there yet. There was a great announcer site, but I got a security error message, so I got to go and look for that again. So yeah, but you said it. Clemson, huge favorite. I mean, why wouldn't they be? They were going up against a soft opponent in Georgia Southern. They definitely need that after that nerve-wracking win. I mean, that was a great game against A&M, I'll tell you that. And just okay. you want the 15th. Yeah, because there are no top 25 action. There's no top 25 action tonight or tomorrow, so it's all Saturday. Yeah, Clemson, you got an MF 33. 33 was the exact spread that I have. So yeah, 33 across the board. So while I wait, don't worry, I'll get that stuff for you in a minute. But MF, I'm just gonna get you started on the next game because it'll be your turn to lead off.
Sure.
The numbers, I don't know the network that it's supposed to be on. I don't have a network for that game. It's probably on some streaming site or something. Number 3, Georgia Bulldogs, the Maiden Georgia Bulldogs. They're at home, Sanford Stadium in the infamous Hedges, going up against the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee. It's a high noon game. It's going to be on ESPN News and
ESPN 2. Check your local listings in your area.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Georgia's a 33.5 to 34-point favorite. So as soon as I get the announcers up, I'll get that to you. But MF, just take this for a spin. Middle Tennessee. And
Georgia. Honestly, Georgia's the favorite. They're definitely the better team, no doubt about it. There's really nothing more to add to that. So I'm going to go with the Maiden Georgia Bulldogs. I think so far they've been very impressive in their 2 wins already. They started out the season 45-0 over Austin Peay, and then last week they went up against South Carolina and basically routed the Gamecocks, routed them 41-17. So Georgia's picking up right where they left off last year. Basically the runners-up in the national title game. Many people believe they should have been the national champions, but right now Georgia's looking like that contender that could make a run for yet another college football playoff and possibly getting back to the national championship game. You don't know. So with that said, Anthony, I give it to you.
Yeah. Let's see. Talking about Georgia here. All right. Let me find it in my loaded up notes here. Georgia. Where are you? Well, I'm obviously going to go with Georgia here. I'm just trying to find the brief notes I had on it. Yeah, it's we know Georgia's going to win this. I mean, come on. I mean, look what they did. Look what they did against a. Oh, here we go. There's Georgia. Following a quiet loss at Vanderbilt, Middle Tennessee found its offense during a 61-37 victory over UT Martin. That defense is still missing in action, though. Georgia will dispatch the Blue Raiders relatively easily and enter SEC play at 3-0. I got Georgia winning this one in a rout, 45-14. That's my final. So with all that being said, let's move on. Next matchup, we have an interesting one here. Number 5, Oklahoma Sooners squaring off against the Iowa State Cyclones. High noon, ABC, Jack Trice Stadium in Iowa, at Iowa State. The Clemson game will be at Clemson, by the way, Memorial Stadium in Death Valley. I already mentioned about Georgia, and Iowa State is going to be hosting Oklahoma. A crucial Big 12 opener there. And let me see, Oklahoma. I would imagine Oklahoma's got to be the favorite here. Yes, they are. 17.5 to 18.5. That's the spread here. I'm still trying to find the announcer sheet. I found a great dirt sheet, but unfortunately...
I actually found it, Florio. I'm using 506 Sports.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
I got Dave Patch, Greg, Greg McElroy, and
Tom Luganbill.
They got Oklahoma and Iowa State.
I thought it was them. I thought I remembered seeing that about them. Okay. Last year, the Cyclones pulled off a stunning upset at Oklahoma. There will be no repeat in 2018 as Zeb Noland is likely to replace an injured Kyle Kemp, though the new quarterback making first career start storyline was the exact narrative entering last year's matchup. Nevertheless, the Sooners have the firepower to dispatch Iowa State, and they won't overlook the Cyclones this time around. I got Oklahoma winning big this time. They got revenge on their minds. Boomer Sooner for JR, 48-20. Nothing more to say. MF, your thoughts on Oklahoma and Iowa State?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Oklahoma's definitely the better team. They're gonna dominate the game. Really, nothing more to say. Anthony, also,
Yes.
to give you the heads up on the other games, the commentary crew for Clemson and Georgia Southern, Anish Shroff and Amon Brooks. And
yep, I got it.
You got it now? Okay, good. All right, so we're all set.
I'm on the 506.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find what I was trying to do was trying to find the announce sheet that had the whole team, including the sideline reporter, because I don't remember some of them off the top of my head. But
okay.
Yeah, all right. So that's why. Some of them I do, some of them I don't. But Anish Shroff and Ahmad Brooks, they'll be doing Georgia Southern and Clemson on ESPN University at high noon. Middle Tennessee and Georgia, that's going to be Beth Mowins. Yeah, Beth Mowins, she's a busy lady. Coming off a great call on Monday night for the Jets and Lions game. She'll be with her traditional team of Anthony Becht and Rocky Boyman. And as MF said, Dave Patch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luginbill for Oklahoma and Iowa State on ABC. So I believe now we've covered everything. So next matchup here, we have, I believe this should be our final high noon game. Actually, no, it's not. We have one more after this. Number 11, Penn State Nittany Lions at home at Beaver Stadium, Happy Valley. They're going to be hosting the Golden Flashes of Kent State, alma mater of one Dolph Ziggler. For those of you who may not know that. Penn State, big favorites, 34.5-35. And this game will be on FS1, and it's going to be Timmy Brando, our old friend Tim Brando, along with another old friend, Spencer Tillman. You remember these two used to be on CBS. Now they're on FS1. And they got the lovely Holly Saunders on the sidelines. Hey, now. So nothing more to say. So MF, Kent State and Penn State. And Penn State, man, I got to tell you, I mean, Appalachian State, man, they almost did it again on September 1st. We almost had another one. But then they got by them. They came back. And then last week, they absolutely took it to Pitt. They kicked the door down at Heinz Field and made themselves at home.
I think because of the fact that because of that Appalachian State, man, that really kind of like you knew around the water coolers that Penn State was getting a lot of ripping from a lot of people, you know, saying how on earth did you let that happen? You had to go to overtime against Appalachian State and you damn near lost that game. You're supposed to be Penn State. You're supposed to be better than this. How on earth do you let that happen? They're like, all right, okay, watch this. And thusly thrashing Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. Now a lot of people are like, okay, we'll forgive you this one time, but don't ever let that happen again. Now they're going up against Kent State, and sorry, guys, I think this is going to be definitely one of those games where I think I hope, and I do mean I hope that Kent State, that Penn State does not take Kent State lightly and actually handles their business and finish the job like they did against Pittsburgh, because I think that's the one thing, Anthony. A lot of these big teams kind of look down on the little guy, and normally when you do that, that's a recipe for disaster. And like we said, we almost saw a disaster a couple of weeks ago when Appalachian State almost did it again, almost pulled up another major upset in the college game. But I do got Penn State winning the game. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. After surviving a scare from Appalachian State, Penn State returned to expected form last week with a 51-6 thrashing of Pitt. Kent State quarterback Woody Barrett, who transferred from Auburn, is the caliber of quarterback needed for an upset, but the Golden Flashes will struggle to shut down the Nittany Lions. So I agree, MF. I got Penn State. I got them in a rout as well. 45-17. That's my final. Give me Penn State in that one. This would have been the UCF and North Carolina game next, but obviously that game was canceled because of Hurricane Florence. So we'll move on to our final high noon game. This one on ESPN2. The number 21 Miami Hurricanes, the U, they're going to be squaring off against the Toledo Rockets at the Glass Bowl. Glass Bowl, okay. I never heard of the Glass Bowl. All right. let's see. Miami, the U, 10.5-point favorites. Can't say I'm surprised with that. And let's see. And on the call for that one will be Kevin Brown and Andre Ware. If I missed anybody, I apologize for that. I mean, so let's get into Miami and Toledo. Remember 2 years ago when Appalachian State hosted Miami and it was a super popular upset pick and the Canes won a laugher? That's the feeling this contest gives off. Toledo has a terrific receiving core and will not be an easy opponent for the U. But the Rockets must be absolutely perfect through the air in order for them to have not just a chance, but in the immortal words of Woody Page, a punter's chance. So I'm going to go with the U, but I think Toledo's going to give them more fits than we think. But Miami will win. I got the U. My final, 41-27. MF, they got back to form against Savannah State last week, but what happened to them a couple of weeks ago against LSU? Your boys got some explaining to do, man.
Nah, they ran into a better team. There's no explaining. They got beaten up, embarrassed, humiliated. A lot of people started to believe LSU didn't believe the hype of Miami, and at the end of the day, LSU kicked the door down, beat them up, and humbled them in Jerry World. No, I mean, it happens. Good game. Congrats, LSU. Well done. And last week, Miami just got back to what made them so great. Ferocious defense, getting into the faces of the other team. They dominated the level of play, and they won the game. So no, and then they caused a whole bunch of turnovers. We got to see the brand new, the newly looked turnover chain, and I gotta admit, guys, the new turnover chain. If you haven't seen it, it's a thing of beauty, man. Let me do 10 or 15 pounds of chain link. It's got the Miami Hurricane. Last year it had the U logo on it. This time it actually has the actual the little mascot for the Hurricane. It has that, and it's encrusted with diamonds and jewels and everything else. It's a thing of beauty, and we saw that thing come out at least 4 or 5 times last week. So look, Miami just has to bring a pressure defense. I think they will. It's going to be tough because, Toledo definitely is going to want to pull the upset, and they're a team that could. But like Anthony said, I think Miami will get the job done. 38-24 is my final score. Give it to the Hurricanes. I think they will rise up once again, and they'll win this game. Anthony, it's yours.
Very well. That does it for that. For the noon games, that is. Next would have been East Carolina against number 13 Virginia Tech, but as you know, that game has also got impacted by Hurricane Florence, so we'll not be getting into that one. But we're just going to go into our 2 o'clock slate of games. Well, actually, we have one 2 o'clock kickoff. The number 9, Stanford Cardinal at home at Stanford Stadium. They're going to be hosting the Aggies of UC Davis. This game will be, let me see. This game will be on the Pac-12 network. Yeah, Pac-12 network will have it. Ted Robinson alongside Yogi Roth. I believe Cindy Brunson is the sideline reporter.
Yes, she is.
Okay, so all right, I got that correct. So let me see the odds. I don't have a spread here. I would imagine Stanford's got to be a sizable favorite here. So MF, I believe we started with you, and I could have sworn that I heard through the grapevine that Bryce Love's not playing. He's
not playing. No, he is out. Injury, personal issues, I believe, was the reason why that they did it. Yeah, Bryce Love will not play, so that's a major problem for Stanford. And as a matter of fact, Anthony, they pulled this one off the line. So that's why we can't find the spread, because there's no spread on the line. This was a game that was initially, I believe, this was like a 30-point favorite that Stanford was. At one point, they were like a 30, 35-point favorite, but I believe they've pulled this off the line. So I don't know now where it stands. It could be a little less, could be a little – it probably definitely will be a lot less now. I mean, you had at least a 4-touchdown favorite. Maybe it goes down to 3. I mean, what would be how much of the production that Bryce Love leaves? What kind of look are we going to get now? I mean, that's going to be the biggest key more than anything else. But, you know, I believe Stanford should still win the game. They got so many explosive players. So Stanford wins. Florio, go.
Yeah, I agree. I got Stanford as well. I mean, calling this a trap game is a little much, but it's a tricky matchup for Stanford, squeezed between showdowns with USC and Oregon. The Cardinal might have a few early breakdowns defensively before taking control of this non-conference game. So I got Stanford as well. My final 37-21. So let's move on. And okay. Alrighty. Now we're going to have some fun now. 2:30 on NBC. My number 8 Notre Dame Fighting Irish squaring off against the new and improved, and I do mean new and improved, Vanderbilt Commodores. Have you seen Vandy lately? My goodness. But nonetheless, it's on NBC. You know who's working this one. I don't need a dirt sheet for this one. I already know who's working this one. It's your regular Notre Dame crew, Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, and another beauty on the sidelines, one of my all-time personal favorites to this day, Catherine Tappan. She's on there. She does a great job each and every week. Trust me, if you haven't seen it. Notre Dame, 13.5-point favorites in this one. And, okay, Brandon Wimbush tossed 3 interceptions against Ball State. WTF? What? But the Irish held on for a 24-16 victory. And if those mistakes happen again, Vanderbilt probably will not be as forgiving. As long as Brandon Wimbush protects the ball, his mobility should and will provide the winning difference opposite a stout Vandy defense. So don't take Vandy lightly, folks. I mean, I know they've been the doormat in the SEC for the last couple of years, but if you haven't seen them the last 2 weeks, this might be a team we need to watch for. Might. We'll see. But back-to-back close victories. Let's make it 3 close victories in a row. Doesn't matter how you do it. As long as they get it done, that's good enough for me, even though I would like to see a decisive win. Come on. Ball State, you nearly let Ball State steal one? Yeah, they overlooked them. No doubt about it, they overlooked them. They were lucky to win that game, I'll tell you. But, you know, it is what it is. So, but I'm going to go with Notre Dame to win. My final. Oh, okay, we got Bullikins. So we'll get to him in a minute. I got Notre Dame winning 27-20. MF, I mean, Notre Dame had some issues with Ball State, but they managed to get by them. And then, of course, the week before, they beat Michigan a couple weeks ago. No hard feelings for that one?
No, because it was a great game. I mean, that matchup between Notre Dame and Michigan was a great game. Hard-nosed battle, like I know Anthony would want it, or like the way I would want it. Notre Dame flexed their muscles early. Michigan tried to make the comeback. They definitely had a chance to win it, but the Notre Dame defense won today, got a big turnover right at the end, and that basically ended Michigan's hopes of pulling off, the big win at Notre Dame Stadium. And no hard feelings. I mean, that was a great game, good matchup. You guys deserved the victory. You guys outplayed us on that night. So no hard feelings on that one. As far as last week goes, I definitely need to criticize Notre Dame. This was definitely a better game that they did. Wimbush had a horrible game in the standards that I would hold him up to, and I know Anthony and I know Derek would hold him up to. Wimbush had subpar to almost a horrible game. I mean, that's not what you're supposed to do. That's not a game that you're supposed to have, and you almost let that one get away. So absolutely not. I think Notre Dame will win it. Vanderbilt's really good, guys. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about Vanderbilt, so Notre Dame better play their top game, and they better play like they played against Michigan, If they play against like Ball State, they're not gonna win it. They're not gonna win that game. You could have an upset on the hands. Definitely, this is one of those where I'm gonna say it. Notre Dame, keep your eyes peeled. Upset alert is definitely up there. But I think Notre Dame will get the job done. They'll win the game. But I think it's going to be a little more widening, wider score line. My final score is 27-13. Notre Dame wins, but this is going to be one of those where it's going to be downright Donnybrook all the way to the end, and then maybe Notre Dame starts to pull away a little bit at the end of the game, and that'll be the difference there. So 27-13, Notre Dame wins. Anthony, it's yours.
Yes, and don't forget, for those of you who may not know, Vanderbilt, their head coach is Derek Mason. You remember Derek Mason, a great receiver for the Tennessee Titans in the late 90s and the 2000s. You know, those teams that were so fun to watch back in the day, including that team that went to the infamous Super Bowl 34. I mean, you can ask MF and I, we can tell you stories upon days about that one. One of our favorite games of all time. But nonetheless, Michael Bullock, come on in. We got to catch you up here, buddy. So let's go. Let's do a little rapid fire with Bullock here. So
yeah, I was just gonna say let's go rapid fire on these.
Yes, please. And started off with Georgia Southern against number 2 Clemson.
Oh, are you kidding? I gotta go with Clemson.
Middle Tennessee against number 3 Made in Georgia Bulldogs.
Made in Georgia Bulldogs, baby.
Number 5 Oklahoma against Iowa State.
Boomer Sooner, baby.
That was for you, JR. Kent State against number 11 Penn State.
I got Penn State winning this one.
Number 21 Miami against Toledo.
Oh, I got Miami.
UC Davis against number 9 Stanford.
The Stanford Cardinal in this one.
And the game that we were, and now we're going to get your thoughts. You're going to your quick thoughts on the game that MF and I were just getting into. Vanderbilt going up against number 8 Notre Dame at Notre Dame Stadium on NBC.
I got the Fighting Irish to win this one.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, we all do. So let's move on now. You're all caught up. So let's get into the 3:30 slate of games and let's try to pick up the pace here, gentlemen. Number 6 Wisconsin at home at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. They're going to be hosting BYU on ABC. Bob Wischusen with Brock Huard and Allison Williams. They will have the call. And excuse me here. It is Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a 22 to 22.5 point favorite. MF, this one goes to you. BYU going up against Wisconsin at Camp Randall.
Hey, Fletch, you there?
MF? Well,
don't tell me we lost him.
Nah, I don't know what's going on with him, but in the meantime, Bullock, why don't you take it?
I'll start it off.
BYU and Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, I have to go with the Wisconsin Badgers here. I mean, I just think they should have no problem with BYU. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Wisconsin wins. Guess I'm just going to toss it to you, Florio.
Yes. Just looking for my notes here. After holding a dynamic dual threat in Khalil Tate to 14 rushing yards, BYU gave up 184 at home to Cal. The Cougars hope the run defense from the 2018 opener travels to Madison, but Jonathan Taylor, the nation's leading rusher, will be too much to handle. Wisconsin easily wins this one. I got him winning this one 41-16 over BYU. Nothing more to say. I don't know where MF is. Hopefully we get him back in here ASAP so we can get his thoughts on. Okay, there he is. All right, MF. BYU against Wisconsin at Camp Randall.
I gotta go with Wisconsin. Definitely a lot more better team. Nothing more to say about that. I'm not gonna waste any time. So let's move on.
We move on to I think we can make an argument here. This is probably the game of the week right here. The SEC on CBS. The number 12, it's a battle of Tigers, folks. The number 12, LSU Tigers. The number 7, Auburn Tigers. Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. Again, I don't need a dirt sheet. You know who's working this one. Your traditional SEC on CBS crew, Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl. They'll be there. And it is Auburn by 10 to 10.5. Okay. So all that post-Miami hype will be tested Saturday afternoon. LSU has a terrific defense, but let's slow down on calling Joe Burrow the offense's savior. He can be both a budding upgrade and an unproven quarterback. Auburn, on the other hand, has Jarrett Stidham complementing a tenacious unit at home. But nonetheless, I'm going with Auburn to win this one. This one's going to be great. Could it be a classic? It could, but I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going with Auburn nonetheless. My final 27-20, Auburn over LSU. This is going to be a great one. MF, you can make an argument. I mean, there's two game of the week contenders. This is one of them. Is this the game of the week, or is that other contender the other one?
Well, I kind of have to feel like this is the game of the week. I got to go with the SEC on CBS as the game of the week. This is going to be an unbelievable matchup. Exciting game, great battle. But I'm with you, Anthony. I'm going to go with Auburn. I think Auburn is definitely the better team, plus at home. Even though don't sleep on LSU, unlike what Miami did last week, they slept behind the wheel, and we saw what happened there. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Auburn to win as well. This is going to be a tight one, guys. 28-21, Auburn gets the victory, and Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Auburn here. I mean Auburn, they are at home, and I think this is definitely gonna be the game of the week, and this could be. I mean, this is an early season big time SEC showdown, and who knows? It could definitely help determine who makes the SEC championship game later on in the year. So we'll definitely have to wait and see how it goes. So I got the Auburn Tigers winning this one. So Florio, it's yours.
All right, let's move on. This would have been West Virginia and North Carolina State, but of course that one got postponed by Hurricane Florence. So let's move on to 3:30 on ESPN. This is easily the number 3 game of the week right here. The number 17 Boise State Broncos, the number 24 Oklahoma State Cowboys, Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, a 2-point favorite. And on the call for this one is going to be Adam Amin with Rod Gilmore and Quint Kessenich. They'll be there. And I believe we give it to MF here because we had to go a little out of rotation here. So, all right, MF, number 3 game of the week, Boise State, Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Here comes another beauty right here.
This is probably the number 3 game of the week, and no doubt about it. This is going to be a great matchup. Boise State is actually ranked higher than Oklahoma State, which is beyond me. I kind of don't understand that. Why? I guess you can call this a mild upset, even though I don't think this is an upset because I think both teams are so good and very tough. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna say Oklahoma State to win it. I think they'll beat Boise State, but it's gonna be close, guys. My final score is 31-28. Anthony, it's yours.
Bullock, actually.
Oh, sorry, Bullock, go.
Yeah, some people can't believe that that Boise State's ranked higher than Oklahoma State. So I mean, this is a game I think Oklahoma State definitely needs here. So I mean, the Boise State, have had some good wins so far, especially last week with a 62-7 rout at Connecticut. So they're going to be faced with a huge test going up against a team like Oklahoma State. So yeah, so if they get a win here over Oklahoma State, then some people would say, hey, they deserve to be ranked higher. So we'll wait and see how it goes. I got Boise State winning this one. I'm going to say 34-31 is going to be my final score. So Florio, it's yours.
I'm sorry, Bullock. I got to go with MF on this one. I got Oklahoma State winning this. Boise State has an opportunity to record a massive forward-looking win. If the Broncos back up their billing, they will be in contention for a New Year's 6 bowl slot. Oklahoma State has the slim advantage thanks to home field, but the offense's performances after turnovers will likely dictate a high-scoring outcome. This is going to be my style of game. This is going to be an offensive shootout. Sorry, MF, you're not going to get no 9-6 or 6-3 defensive battle. Oh, no, you're not getting that, buddy. You're getting an Anthony Florio-style shootout here. I got Oklahoma State winning. Get ready for this final score, folks. 48-42, Oklahoma State over Boise State. That's a 5-star waiting to happen, folks. That's all I'm going to say. Number 3 game of the week, absolutely. Now we move on to our final 3:30 game. This one will be on the Big Ten Network. The number 19 Michigan Wolverines for MF and Bullock. They'll be at home against the Mustangs of SMU. We got another soft opponent there, gentlemen. Southern Methodist, if you're wondering. Kevin Kugler with Matt Millen. They'll be on the call at the Big House. And we see here. Do we have a spread for this one? Michigan, 35.5 to 36. 35.5 to 36. I believe it's Michael Bullock who starts this off. So Bullock, Michigan, tough loss at Notre Dame, but then last week, a nice bounce back, an easy bounce back over Western Michigan. They're at home against Southern Methodist. Bullock, I think I know who you like in this one.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely the Michigan Wolverines all the way. To me, I think they should have no problem with excuse me. They should have no problem with SMU in this one. So, yeah, Michigan wins. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, it's Michigan. Michigan responded well following its frustrating loss at Notre Dame, holding Western Michigan to a meager 2.8 yards a snap. SMU has mustered just 256 and 242 total yards in 2 games, and it's hard to see that improving, at least before garbage time, opposite an elite defense. Another easy win for Michigan, 42-10, all Michigan all the time, and I know, MF, that's going to make you very happy. Tough loss at Notre Dame, and then last week, you got back to the basics against Western Michigan in the Big House.
Well, the thing is that our defense just needed to wake up, and they did. They woke up. Our offense looked amazing. Shea Patterson looks like a quarterback, even though he played really good against Notre Dame, but he made a few mistakes. I know there was a couple of mistakes that he made in that game that he wanted it to have back, but it is what it is. But now here they are, and it looks like they turned the corner a little bit. Hopefully we can get something going. Hopefully it'll be something good at the end, and we'll wait and see. So nothing more to say. Michigan should win this one pretty handily. And Anthony, let's move on.
A rare 5:00 kickoff for our next game, guys. We got the number 20 Oregon Ducks, our good friend Eric Carrier's team, at home yet again in Eugene at Autzen Stadium. They're going to be welcoming the Spartans of San Jose State. This game will be on the Pac-12 network with Roxy Bernstein, Anthony Haran, and Lewis Johnson. They will be there for that one. And Oregon, oh my goodness, 41 to 41.5 point favorite here. That. Okay, well, I'm not going to get into this. This is a non-conference affair. We all know this. Oregon put 58 on Bowling Green and 62 on Portland State, and it now hosts a San Jose State squad that lost to FCS school UC Davis and failed to score at Washington State. Another easy win for Oregon, 59-7. nothing more to say. MF, if I know our friend Eric Carey, he's got to be grinning like the Cheshire Cat right about now.
He's probably licking his chops, and I don't blame him. This is the lock of the week. This is the most easiest call I can make. Oregon is going to dominate from beginning to the end. There's really nothing more to say. They're just fast on the defensive side. They fly to the ball, as you can see in the last couple of games. They've been doing that. So, no, at the end of the day, I'm truly, honestly believing that this game is going to be over. Nothing more to say. And I do believe that it is going to be Oregon. Oregon should win this one pretty handily. So, Anthony, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Oh, yeah. Oregon all the way in this one. This is definitely the lock of the week. So, Florio, it's yours.
And now we get into the prime time action, gentlemen. Prime time slate of action on Saturday night. And we started off with your number one reigning, defending, undisputed college football playoff national champion, Alabama Crimson Tide. 7 o'clock on ESPN, squaring off against the Ole Miss Rebels. This is definitely an honorable mention when it comes to our top games of the week. Vaught Hemingway Stadium and Hollingsworth Field in Oxford, Mississippi. Like I said, it's on ESPN. And we got the B team for ESPN calling this. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, and Holly Rowe. They will be there. And Bama, I do believe, is the favorite. Oh, they're 21 to 22 point favorites. So I believe is it MF who starts this one off, or I'm trying to.
I think it's MF because I finished.
Okay.
Last one.
Yeah, I believe it is MF. Yeah, I think I started the last one. All right. MF, Alabama, Ole Miss. This is definitely you could call this maybe an honorable mention / sleeper game of the week right here.
Yep, honorable mention, sleeper game of the week. Ole Miss definitely likes to play at home. Alabama, the number one team in the nation, the defending national champions. They're looking very strong right now. But going into Ole Miss, you gotta watch yourself, Bama. Don't get caught up. Sometimes this is where an upset happens, but not in this case. Tua Tagovailoa is gonna dominate as he's been doing lately. He's been amazing, man. There's really no doubt about it. So I definitely believe that Alabama should win this one. Roll Tide. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I gave it to you.
Yeah, I got the Alabama Crimson Tide winning this one. I mean, but yeah, like you said, Fletch, sometimes it's sometimes it's not easy going into Ole Miss and winning that one. So if Alabama can just focus, do their job, they should have no problem with it. If they take Ole Miss too lightly, well, that is where it could hurt them. So we're just going to have to wait and see how it goes. But either way, Alabama will win it. So, Florio, it's yours.
With respect to Toledo and West Virginia, Ole Miss has one of, if not the best receiving corps in the country. This will be an enormous test for Alabama's revamped secondary. Tide quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has shown no reason to doubt him, but Ole Miss shouldn't get blown off the field this season. So, yes, I'm going with Bama to win. My final is going to be closer than people think. 42-28, Alabama over Ole Miss. Moving on, 7:30 ESPN2. The number 16 Mississippi State Bulldogs at home at Davis Wade Stadium at Scott Field in Starkville, hosting the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. This one will be on ESPN2. We got Mark Neely, Barrett Jones, and Taylor Davis on the call. And let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to find this. 33-point spread for Mississippi State. So I believe Bullock starts it off. So Bullock, this should be an easy one for Mississippi State. They're at home and they're favored by 33.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be an easy one for Mississippi State. I think they should have no problem with the Raging Cajuns. So yeah, nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
The Raging Cajuns have been preparing for Mississippi State for 2 weeks. However, it probably will not matter. The Bulldogs have ceded just 467 yards in 2 contests, holding Kansas State to 3.8 yards a snap in Manhattan, Kansas last week. Get ready for cowbells, folks. Mississippi State wins 41-13, easy win. MF, more cowbell.
Yeah, more cowbells, more cowbells, more cowbells. Definitely the infamous line or an infamous joke from Saturday Night Live when the band was performing, and it was, I believe it was Christopher Walken who is demanding more cowbells. That's definitely what we're getting here. You're gonna hear a lot of cowbells in Mississippi State, no doubt about it. They're gonna dominate and they're gonna win this game. Nothing more to say. Anthony, let's move on to the next game.
Yeah, I had to get that one off my chest. Okay, all fun and games aside, it's time for the number 2 game of the week. Oh, baby. The number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes, the number 15 TCU Horned Frogs, 8 o'clock, ABC, Saturday night game of the week. You know who's working this one. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor. And this is a neutral site game, guys. This one is going to be in Jerry World. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be in Jerry World. Whoa, baby. We're going to Jerry World, boys. That's all there is to say on that. For Ohio State and TCU, that's AT&T Stadium, Cowboys Stadium, Arlington, Texas. And it's Ohio State, favored by 12.5 to 13. And I believe I start this one off. Wow, lucky me. TCU hung 42 points on SMU last Friday night, but special teams and defense provided 3 touchdowns. That can be both encouraging and discouraging, since it's highly unlikely the Horned Frogs can repeat the feat against a sound Ohio State team. Quarterback Sean Robinson must, keyword must, be a factor on the ground for TCU to hang around. But in all honesty, as great as TCU is, I don't see them beating Ohio State, not even in Jerry World. So I'm going with Ohio State to win. I think it's going to be good early, but I could see Ohio State maybe pulling away late. So I think Ohio State will win 38-20. That's my final score. MF, I mean, this is a game that you have been talking a lot about over our programs the last couple of weeks. And you said this is a game to keep an eye out for. And, well, here you go, man. Ohio State and TCU, floor is yours. Why is this a game to keep an eye on?
Well, because of the fact that TCU is actually a really good team. And, you know, they have been playing very good football lately. And I feel like TCU could pull an upset, you know. But, you know, with the way that Urban Meyer – because once with Urban Meyer out, you would think, okay, maybe there's a chance that we could see an upset here. I mean, TCU in the first game put a 55 points up on the board. Then they put 42, a 42-12 win. And this is their biggest game, you know, at least going in, because next week, then they go into conference play. And right behind that, they got Texas on the road against Texas. So, I mean, obviously TCU wants to slam the brakes here. This is a highly coveted game, even though I think Ohio State will win it now, because going into it, I was a little apprehensive. But with Ohio State and the way they've been playing lately, I mean, I would be stunned if they don't win this game. So unfortunately, I know all you Michigan fans were hoping for the upset. I don't think we're gonna get it this time around, guys. Sorry. 31-21, Ohio State beats TCU in a very good game. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Oh, and Florio, isn't this where the College Game Day crew is going to be?
I believe so, yes, because Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and Maria Taylor are calling the game, so I would imagine.
Well, before I get into my my pick for this, I did hear something about a certain celebrity get. You know how they have celebrity guest pickers during the end of the show?
Of course.
Well, guess who I found out's going to be on there?
Who is it?
Well, let's just say it's a certain big dog, if you know what I mean.
Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Universal Champion from Monday Night Raw. Nice.
Yep, he's going to be the celebrity guest picker, so I'll be interested to. Well, my advice to the guys on College Game Day: don't get on Roman Reigns' bad side, or you might get a Superman punch
or a spear from Luigi PS3.
Yeah. So anyway, getting back to this, yeah, this definitely should be. This should be a fun game on Saturday night. I mean, like you said, this is the number 2 game of the week here, and yeah, I mean, this is an ultimate test here for TCU. I mean, they're going to have the home crowd on their side. You have over 100,000 people packing that stadium, and yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be a true test for them to have to basically beat the Ohio State Buckeyes. And for the Buckeyes, this is their true test, first true test without their coach, Urban Meyer. So, oof, this is a tough one here. I mean, you know what? I have to go with Ohio State in this one. I mean, would it surprise me if TCU pulls it off? No, but so yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I got the Buckeyes winning it. Flory, what's yours?
3 games left, and let's move on. 8 o'clock on Fox. Another one of our games of the week. I could easily call this the number 4 game of the week because of the history of this one. The number 22 USC Trojans squaring off against the Texas Longhorns. Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium, Jamale Field in Austin. The A team's working this one. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft, they'll be there. And Texas opening up as a 3 to 3.5 point favorite. MF, it's only fitting you start this one off. I mean, USC and Texas. I mean, when you think USC Texas, there's only 2 words that come to mind: Rose Bowl.
The greatest national championship game in the BCS era. That's the only thing you got to say. You talk about that game, you talk about Vince Young, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Lendale White, and that infamous 45-42, the epicness that was, like you said, Anthony, it was the greatest national title game in the BCS era. It was true number 1 versus number 2 when it was all said and done. This was a heavyweight championship fight that lasted 15. This was the old school 15-round fight that literally it went to the final round and Texas got the knockout at the end. There's really nothing more to say about that. This time around, I got USC winning the game. Even though I know Texas has been pretty good this year, I'm going to go with USC to beat Texas. This is going to be a great battle. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Bullock, are you with us?
Oh, just forgot to hit the
okay.
hit that thing off. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when you think of USC and Texas, you think of that epic Rose Bowl, the greatest national championship game in the BCS era. I mean, that's the only thing you can think of. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little surprising that Texas comes in as the favorite, but yeah, I mean, if Texas gets a win right here, this would be a monumental victory for them, and that's the last thing USC needs. I mean, if they lose to Texas, it's just gonna bring back memories of that loss in that national championship game. Yeah, so to me, I mean, I got to agree with you. I got to go with the USC Trojans to win this one. I mean, would I be surprised that Texas wins? No, I wouldn't be. And yeah, I mean, and USC, like, they come in with a huge chip on their shoulder after they lost 17-3 to Stanford last week. So yeah, so they got something to prove here. So yeah, so and I think they'll get the job done. So nothing more to say. Floria, what's yours?
Either side looked especially impressive in their respective wins this season. The crowd will be invested, but it's tough to get overly excited about this blue blood clash given the state of the offenses. Whichever one best sustains drive should pull out the win. And Texas's 29.6 third down conversion rate is glaringly bad. I got SC, but it's a close one. I got SC winning my final 24-17. This is easily our number 4 game of the week right here. So nothing more to say on that. 2 more games to go, and then our first power poll. Number 10, the Washington Huskies. The number 10 Washington Huskies. They're squaring off against the Utah Utes at Rice-Eccles Stadium, the beautiful Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City, Utah. One of my personal favorite stadiums. I love that venue. 10 o'clock on ESPN. And let me see on the call for this. We got Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and Todd McShay. They'll be there. And Washington opening up as a 5 to 5.5 point favorites. So Michael Bullock, we started with you real quick. Washington, Utah, who you got? Bullock, are you there?
Damn, I keep forgetting to hit that button again. Oof. Yeah, so yeah, as I was saying, I mean, Washington. I think they're definitely going to win this one. I mean, they should have no problem with Utah. I mean, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. So, Floria, what's yours?
Defense is the name of this Pac-12 game, and the visiting Huskies have the edge in that department. In the likely event, Washington shuts down running back Zach Moss. Can quarterback Tyler Huntley repeat his 341-yard, 3 TD total performance from last year? It'll be a much tougher feat opposite a healthy Washington secondary. So I'm going with Washington to win this one. This will be another close one. 28-20, Washington over Utah. MF, your thoughts?
Washington wins. Nothing more to say. Florio, go.
One final game, 10:30 on the CBS Sports Network. The number 23 Arizona State Sun Devils squaring off against the San Diego State Aztecs at SDCCU Stadium. On the call for that will be Carter Blackburn with Aaron Taylor. I believe Jenny Dell works with them. And Arizona State opening up as 6-point favorites. So I believe I have this one. And fresh off an upset win over Michigan State, the Sun Devils head to San Diego State, which won last year's matchup 30-20. Unfortunately for the hosts, quarterback Christian Chapman is sidelined with a knee injury. That will put immense pressure on starback Juwan Washington to carry the offense. But ASU has ceded a total of 65 yards on 61 attempts this season. This will be another close one, but ultimately I got Arizona State winning it. My final score, 24-19. Arizona State wins. MF, Arizona State over San Diego State.
I agree with that, and especially after the fact that Arizona State pulled off the major upset, knocking off Michigan State at the last second with a field goal at the end of the game. Arizona State definitely riding high on this. They definitely got to watch out for San Diego State. Sometimes, after a big game or a big victory, sometimes you might get a little bit of a letdown the next game out. But I do believe that Arizona State should win this game. Herman Edwards definitely got his boys in tune up to this point. So nothing more to say. Arizona State wins. Even though, Anthony, last year, San Diego State actually beat Arizona State 30-20. But I believe that was on the road. I believe. Well, I don't have the score here or where it was, but I do believe Arizona State will win. So nothing more to say. Bullet, go.
Yeah, I got Arizona State winning this one as well. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. So let's move on to the power poll.
Yes, our first power poll of the season. Should have been our second, but this is our first. And our power polls, I want to tell you real quick, do not necessarily reflect how the AP or USA Today or the coaches, what have you, have it. So these are our personal opinions alone. So MF, right on cue. Who's your number 10?
Well, I'm going to start my number 10, and I'm going to actually start it out with a team that I truly believe that deserves to be at the 10 spot, and that is the Penn State Nittany Lions. Okay, now I know a lot of people are going to say, why Penn State? Why would you put them there? You know, especially after the Appalachian State, the almost Appalachian State debacle. Understandable, and that's why I punished them. Earlier in the year, I actually had Penn State a lot more higher. You know, I thought they were going to be, you know, I had them in like the upper 5 range, you know, the 3 to 5, at least number 4 and number 5. Then they had the Appalachian State belt down where they almost lost that game. So I punished them for that. And then I brought it back because of that whooping that they did over Pittsburgh last week. So that kind of evened it out in my eyes. And with the remaining teams that I got that is up there, my number 10 was very simple. So for me, my number 10 is Penn State. Anthony, I give it to you. Or I should say, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll go with Penn State as my number 10 as well. So I toss it to you, Florio.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't have Penn State in my rankings. Remember, like I said, well, I don't know about MF and Bullock, but my power rankings are not necessarily going to reflect those of the AP and what have you. So I don't have Penn State quite there yet. I need to see a little more from them. So the Appalachian State, that's the one that really did it for me. So if they had won convincingly, then I would have done it. But no. My number 10 is Stanford, Stanford Cardinal. Welcome back to notoriety, Bryce Love. In a near skunking of USC, Love rushed for 136 yards. More importantly, Stanford may have announced itself as a serious challenger to Washington in the Pac-12 North. So I got Stanford at number 10. I'm guessing Bullock will not be ready for number 9, so I'll take it for a spin. Number 9 for me, the West Virginia Mountaineers. It was only Youngstown State, coming off a loss to non-scholarship FCS Butler, but a win is a win. Will Grier tossed 4 more touchdown passes, giving him 9, and receiver Gary Jennings tripled his touchdown receptions from all of 2017, 1 in 97 catches with 3. So nothing more to say here. My number 9, the Mountaineers of West Virginia. MF, how about it?
Disagree. Wrong. Virginia Tech is my number 9. The skunking. Yeah, I gotta go with them. Because of the beatdown that they did to Florida State, 24-3. Then they had William and Mary, which is a cupcake team, 62-17. But the Florida State one is the one that I hold more near and dear, more than anything else. The reason why I disagree with you, Anthony, and the reason why I say no to West Virginia is because I got them higher. That's why. So that's why I disagree with Anthony on that. I got Va Tech at number 9. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you. Who do you agree with? Do you agree with Anthony with his West Virginia, or do you agree with me with Va Tech?
I'm gonna go with you, Fletch. I'm going with Va Tech in this one. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I mean, West Virginia to me should be just a smidgen higher. So yeah, let's just move right along, Florio.
Number 8, MF.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I know I'm probably gonna get a little bit of some eye rolls, or even a little bit of a shock reaction here. But my number 8 is it? Actually, my number 8 is Mississippi State. So Mississippi State definitely started out pretty good. I mean, a nice win that they had at the beginning of the year, starting off with a 63-3 thumping of Stephen F. Austin, but that's kind of a cupcake team. And then they go and turn around and go into Manhattan, Kansas, and take down Kansas State 31-10. Pretty impressive victory, to say the very least. I like their body of work. I like what they've been bringing to the table, especially at the beginning of the season right now. So obviously, I know a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, where's the Notre Dames? Where's the Wisconsins? Where's Oklahoma? Ohio State's? Where's the big boys? Relax. It's coming. Just let us get through this little bottom tier first. The upper echelon, the top 5, trust me, there's enough heavyweights that you're going to be very happy for. So just relax. Wait. Bullock, it's yours. I got Mississippi State at number 8.
Yeah, I got Mississippi State at number 8 as well. So, yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Florio, it's yours.
I made a vow that we were going to shake things up when it came to the power rankings, or power poll in this case, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I know a lot of people say, oh, you guys agree on everything and everything. Oh, no. That's not going to be the case this season. Oh, no, it's not, especially on my end, because, I know Bullock and MF have commitments and stuff, and I watch these games very thoroughly. So Mississippi State, not quite on my radar, I'm sorry to say. I know they should be, but they're not. My number 8 is Notre Dame. Notre Dame is number 8. Brandon Wimbush has no rushing touchdowns through 2 games after rushing for a quarterback school record 10 in the first 10 games of last season. And they squeaked by Ball State. Yikes. If it had been more decisive, maybe they would have been higher. They certainly would have been higher. I would love to put them higher, honestly. You know me. But I can only put them at number 8. So with that being said, let's move on to number 7. And my number 7 is the Wisconsin Badgers. Jonathan Taylor, he's got that Heisman Trophy gleam in his eye again. He went for a career-high 253 yards against Nevada. The 417 rushing yards were the most of the Paul Chryst era. So nothing more to say here. My number 7, Wisconsin Badgers. I'm sure it's going to be another disagreement, but I don't care. My story, I'm sticking to it. So Wisconsin, number 7. MF, I know it's a disagreement, but who do you got anyway?
No. First time tonight, agreed. Time tonight, agree. I'll go with Wisconsin here. There's no doubt about it. They deserve it. They deserve the spot that they got. I totally agree. Anthony, the one I would disagree with is the Notre Dame. Yes, they did beat Michigan, and that was a nice win, whatever. But that Ball State, that knocked me out. That knocked them out of the rankings. They should have handled them. They should have throttled them.
I agree.
Beat down, exploded. And that's why I had to knock them out. Just like earlier where you knocked one of my guys out of there because of the same reason. I think it was Penn State. I think is the one that you knocked out.
Yeah.
So this is the same thing. This is Notre Dame's version of the Appalachian State. They should have dominated, should have handled their business. They let Ball State hang tough. You're out. Sorry. But enough about Notre Dame for one day. We'll probably get into them next week. But I will say that I do agree that this was Wisconsin. They definitely played all right. I mean, nice performances, nothing more to say about that, and we'll just move on to Michael Bullock. It's yours, man.
Yeah, I agree. I got to go with Wisconsin as well. So, yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Let's move right along.
Number 6 with MF.
All right. Number 6. This is going to probably piss off a lot of people in the building, but oh well. Clemson. I got to call it. They beat Vernon 48-7. All right, they handled their business. Then they got Texas A&M 28-26. That's a tight, close victory. But hey, a win is a win. You got to do it any way you can. Clemson's one of those teams right now. The AP's got them at number 2. The coaches got them at number 2. So, obviously that means they're playoff bound. You got to show me more, Clemson. You got to wake up. All these other teams are handling their business right now, and you're just skating by. So, not bad. Nice performance. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Who did you have, Fletch?
Clemson.
Yeah, I actually got to agree with you. Yeah, Clemson to me. I mean, they're number 6 as well. I mean, like you basically just said, Fletch, with the with the way they won by only 2 points in the last game. Yeah, it rubbed me the wrong way, but I mean, I understand a win is a win any way you can take it, but yeah, I mean, that really didn't work out well for them. So yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Flory, what's yours? I know you're probably going to disagree with us.
Darn tootin' I am. Clemson at 6. I don't know about that. Ohio State is my number 6. Dwayne Haskins has more touchdown passes, 9 than 125 teams. 5 of those came Saturday against Rutgers. Ew. Blame the rain if you must, but the shoe was filled with less than 100,000 for the first time in 115 games. TCU next. So nothing more to say. Let's go into the top 5. My number 5, Oklahoma Sooners. Just to remind everyone, Lincoln Riley is 14-2 as a head coach. Is it possible the Sooners are better than last year? OU's quarterback Kyler Murray accounted for 375 total yards and 5 touchdowns against UCLA. Where have we heard that before? Nonetheless, Oklahoma, number 5. MF, your thoughts?
Clear disagreement on that one. This is where I have West Virginia. This is where I have the Mountaineers. The Anthony alluded to it earlier in the show. So West Virginia is my number 5. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I agree with Fletch on this one. West Virginia, this is where I have them at number 5. So yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. I'm just gonna move right along to number 4 with Anthony.
MF, actually.
Painstakingly to say this, and I hate when I do this. Ohio State number 4, and it stings me to say that because I actually, more than ever before, I got pure hatred for the Ohio State Buckeyes after everything that happened earlier in the year with everything that's been going down, especially in Columbus, and the whole handling of that thing. Even though I got Ohio State winning against TCU, I hope they just beat the living crap out of them on Saturday night. Nothing more to say. Bullet, go.
You said Ohio State, right?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I got Ohio State at number 4 as well. So nothing more to say. Flory, what's yours?
Another disagreement. Number 4, the Made in Georgia Bulldogs. We should have known the route of South Carolina was coming. This quarterback thing is going to be interesting. Jake Fromm is the most accurate Power 5 signal caller in the country at 79.4%. Meanwhile, Justin Fields is actually better at 88.8%, but hasn't thrown enough passes to qualify. So, nothing more to say there. Georgia's 4. My number 3, the Auburn Tigers. I mean, I love them after week 1. Hard to judge in a walkthrough against Alabama State. Does it matter? We'll know more really fast with LSU coming to town Saturday. The freshmen accounted for 457 of the 568 yards against the Hornets of Alabama State. The Washington win weighed heavily on me, obviously, and then Alabama State, easy win. They took care of their business like they should have, so I think I just made Lindsay McCormick a very happy young lady, without a doubt. So I know this is going to be another disagreement, but like I said, we're shaking things up when it comes to these rankings this year, and that's how it should be from now on. So Auburn at 3. MF, I know it's a disagreement, but who do you have anyway?
Well, no, I'm gonna see you the Auburn. I'll give you that. I'm not gonna go too much about it. I mean, I disagree that with the Georgia thing. I have them ranked higher. and obviously number one is an obvious choice. So we're going to be all in agreement with number one. But
Definitely.
as far as number 3 and 2 goes, I'll tip my hand right now. Number 3 is Auburn. Number 2 is Georgia. So there's my top 2. I'm not gonna, and we could just save, and I'll save you the number 1 because we all know who number 1 is. So
Right.
we'll just go there. But no, Auburn's 3. I definitely agree with that, and I'll save you, and I'll give you my number 2, which is the Made in Georgia Bulldogs. So, so those are my 2. Michael Bullock, if you want to give 3 and 2, and then let Florio give his number 2, and then we'll just go right into number 1.
Yeah, you already gave your 3 and 2, right?
Yeah, Auburn 3, Georgia 2.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the same thing. Auburn 3 and Georgia 2 because yeah, I mean we all agree who on number 1 is gonna be. We'll definitely let you know when we get there. So, Flory, what's yours?
So Florio, just give us our number 2, and then we'll go right into 1.
This is where I obviously have Clemson at number 2. I mean, it is such a weird quarterback configuration. Senior Kelly Bryant is definitely the starter in the Rock. He played the last 6 series against Texas A&M, helping preserve the 28-26 win. But freshman Trevor Lawrence threw a 64-yard touchdown on his first snap. How do you not keep playing both? That's all there is to say on that. I know we've had a lot of disagreements tonight, but MF and Bullock, they said it, and I'll confirm it. Yes, number 1, of course, your reigning, defending, undisputed national champion Alabama Crimson Tide. The subtext is the subtext for the national champions until further notice. In a rout of Arkansas State, Jalen Hurts appeared in his second game. He's only got 2 more to go until burning a year of eligibility. Meanwhile, how about Tua Tagovailoa for the Heisman? I think we should put him in the Heisman conversation. Absolutely. So I know there's been a lot of disagreements and a lot of shakeups this evening, but we definitely will agree on this one. Number 1, with a bullet, the Alabama Crimson Tide, at least for now. Until we'll have to wait and see what happens with Ole Miss. So nothing more to say. MF, I know we're all in agreement on this one.
Yeah, this is the ultimate slam dunk of the night. I could even say the reason why I put Georgia in there is because they are the national runner up. Until they get beaten, they're gonna be at the number 2 spot, at least in my mind. Number 1, number 2 for me is standard quo. The 2 teams that made it to the national championship game, the 2 teams that deserve to be there, over all the others. So until they get knocked off, until one of them gets knocked, right now that's my 1-2. So you can say whatever you want to say, you can feel whatever you want to feel, but these are the 2 teams that were the best at the end of the year, and up to this point they have not fallen off the cliff or has stumbled at all. So for me, simple call. So number 1 is indeed Alabama. Bullock, let's give me your number 1, and then we'll call it a night.
Yep, number 1 is Alabama. So let's put a bow on this, Florio.
And that's exactly what we will do. College Football Thursday, Week 3 in the books. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Tomorrow night we have NFL Friday, usual time. Of course, it kicked off tonight. The Cincinnati Bengals defeating the Baltimore Ravens 34-23. Wow, go figure. Cincinnati wins with the same score in back-to-back weeks. They beat Indy 34-23 in Week 1, and they beat them 34-23 tonight. What are the odds of that happening? Wow, amazing. We have some other great matchups to get into this week, folks. We are loaded. I mean, I'm looking at some of the matchups. I mean, my God. Of course, obviously, the headliner, the New England Patriots and the Jacksonville Jaguars, the AFC Championship rematch, of course. We got some other great matchups. Carolina against Atlanta, Minnesota against Green Bay, Kansas City against Pittsburgh. I mean, Indianapolis against Washington, Houston against Tennessee. I mean, just to name a few. I mean, and even the Monday night game's even intriguing with Seattle and Chicago. Goodness gracious. So we'll get into all of that tomorrow night and our first NFL Power Rankings of the year. And, of course, we'll give a brief thought of the Week 3 Thursday night matchup for next week. Yeah, back to reality here. Not a good one. The New York Jets against the Cleveland Browns. Ugh. Yeah, but we got to talk about it because Derek wants us to get into it. So that's Friday. Now, Saturday, time to be determined, our Hell in a Cell preview. And I had a thought. MF, since I'm going to be doing the recap show, filling in for you, I think it's only fair you do the preview show. Is that okay with you?
I could do that. Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely. We're just gonna have to figure out a time and we'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, since I'm going to be filling in for you for the recap because of your work commitments, I think it's only fair because, since these events are dual branded and, we want to make this a joint production of both Raw and SmackDown Live. So since I'm doing the Raw thing on Sunday, I think it's only fitting we bring some SmackDown flavor to Saturday.
All right. Done deal. Good.
All right. Because that's how we do it. Because usually I do the preview and MF does the recap. But MF asked me to host the recap because he has work commitments on Sunday night. So we're going to be doing a role reversal for this one time. Hopefully for this one time. So, all right. So NFL Friday tomorrow, Saturday, time to be determined. The Hell in a Cell preview with MF hosting, and then Sunday night following the pay-per-view, I'll be hosting the recap, filling in for MF for his work commitments. And then, of course, Monday, Ridiculously Raw. Hopefully Tuesday, Cerebral Smack Talk. And then right back here next week for our Week 4 edition of College Football Thursday. So nothing more to say here, so that'll do it. So until tomorrow night for NFL Friday, it's Anthony Floyo here for good old MF Michael Fletcher and for Michael Bullock. And in spirit, D.D. Woodson and Derek Forever. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for NFL Friday, you've been watching Strictly Sports College Football Thursday right here on the Zone 25 and YouTube.com. Everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Floyo, so long. And bye, everybody. Bye.